Week 22, Lion King 2019. Alright, here's my ticket. What did I think of the movie? Well, no easy way to say this. I feel like this entire movie is just a cash grab. I feel bad because I was really looking forward to this film. I thought the cast was really, really great, but I don't know. Maybe it's some exhaustion from the MCU or something, but Jon Favreau's direction for some of these voice actors and actresses is just like it left a lot to be desired. I find myself thinking many times with Mufasa particularly that if they had just taken his dialogue from the 90s version, it would have been better.
So when we recorded him as Mufasa, and this is going back a couple of years, there he was, the voice a little bit more of a deeper timbre to it than you remember, but we had the old recordings and this, and I think for this it worked even better because he's bringing all that to it. But my understanding, he's doing well. This takes a lot of energy to do, and just his involvement in all is something I'm very grateful for.
There's so many parts in this movie where you can tell they're padding for time. They're elongating this movie to make it worth a feature release, but it's just filled with so much nonsense. For example, the beginning 2 seconds in the original, where there's just a mouse walking around and then Scar hits it, a good 90 seconds of the beginning of this movie is devoted to that mouse for no good reason at all. The mouse doesn't have a name or have significance in a secondary plot they add. Like, it's just padded for time.
This takes a lot of energy to do.
Which is weird because I've seen the Broadway production of The Lion King. There are things you could definitely add to this. Songs that are in the Broadway production that aren't in the film, the cartoon, rather. But they didn't seem to want to add those songs. Instead, they wanted to show us 25 seconds of a dung beetle literally pushing shit up a hill. I can't wrap my head around it.
This takes a lot of energy to do.
It really, you can tell. James Earl Jones is a bit old, and Beyonce is this absolute superstar, and I feel like Favreau may have been a little bit more hands-off and thought he could just coast through this. Maybe Disney owes him a project he actually cares about somewhere down the line, but there just wasn't a visceral passion in this movie, you know? Which is heartbreaking, because the original had such a punch to it, and this just doesn't. They go for the same iconography, but with all the muted color palettes that this live action reimagining tries to go for, you just can't recreate those same scenes with the same punch to it, you know? This movie just fell flat, and honestly, I think it's one of the biggest disappointments of the year.